to Screen Talk with yours truly, Nomfanelo. So before I begin, do like to remind you that if you like to support the channel, you could visit Buy Me a Coffee /Nomfanelo to either donate by buying me a coffee, or you could join my membership and also look at other extras that I have offered on that website. And if the screen keeps going yellow like this, it's my webcam, and I apologize in advance. Let me see if I get fixed. No? Okay. All right, so back with the topic of this video. So I saw the other day that apparently the sequel for I Am Legend is in the works. So let me just pull up here article I found on Screen Rant. So let's see here. So here is all the info they have here on the sequel. So they have the summary. The sequel is confirmed and in pre-production with the original screenwriter, but it's unclear if the director will be back. Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan will lead the cast in the sequel, with Alice Braga expressing interest to reprise her role. And the story of I Am Legend 2 will deviate from the first movie's original ending and will follow the alternative ending, taking inspiration from The Last of Us and exploring a post-apocalyptic world in New York City. So I'm just going to scroll here. So here it talks about Alice Braga. She would like to return for the sequel since her character didn't die in the first movie. So let's get into the sequel itself. So March 4th, 2022, there were reports that Warner Brothers was actively developing a sequel for I Am Legend. Screenwriter Akiva Goldsmith is returning to do the screenplay. They say the sequel was originally planned as a prequel with Will Smith, was teased, I guess, after the first movie came out back in 2007, but that obviously did not work out. So now they're saying here, so right now it's in pre-production phase. They talk about details. So they say earlier this month, Will Smith, he gave an update on the film where he says he has to talk with Michael B. Jordan directly about the sequel. So I guess he was at the Red Seal Film Festival. Here's what he has to say here. Hopefully it plays.
Yeah, I'm Legend, yes. Yes, I'm Legend too. Actually, I have a call with Michael B. Jordan tomorrow. Yeah, we have a really cool. The script just came in. I'm probably giving up too much information. Yeah, the script.
Well, more than you in the film.
No. We're both Michael B. Jordan and I. We're using on the you have to be a real I Am Legend buff. But in the first one, in the theatrical version, my character died, and everybody's like, "Well, wait a minute, how he gonna make part 2 of his character?" But on the DVD, there was an alternate version of the ending of the movie where my character lived.
Mid-credits scene.
Yeah. So it was like, so we're going with the mythology of the DVD version where my character lived, and I can't tell you anymore. But Michael B. Jordan is in, and we're doing it. Yeah.
So when the sequel was announced, I was like, okay. I felt like for me, the sequel is not necessary, but if there's room to explore, I guess, the lore of the film or the book, then sure, why not? But the fact here that they're deciding to go away with the original ending of the first movie. So the original ending was essentially he sacrificed himself by blowing himself up with the other zombies that were coming to attack them, essentially. And I know when the movie came out at the time, there was discourse that people were not satisfied with the actual cool ending, with the ending of the first movie. And I have not read the book that the movie is based on, so I can't really comment on the, I guess, those aspects of what a lot of people are saying online. But I would say, based on what I've heard, it seemed like um, the original ending of the book is better, because essentially, with the book, it focuses more on like the zombies. They have like a bigger role than how they're portrayed in the movie. But I would say that with the alternate ending, so essentially, like with Will Smith's character in the alternate cut, I guess based off the book, I can't remember, where essentially he's alive, and I believe he helps out one of the zombies. I can't remember the full details, but it was something along those lines. And so when reading that, I figured the alternate ending would have worked had the movie followed closely with the novel. But because here with the movie, they were going for a different direction, I suppose, I think the alternate ending that they shot would not make sense for the movie version. So let's see. So for the sequel, it's going to be Will Smith back as Robert Neville, and Michael B. Jordan's going to be in the cast. So there's no info on what character he'll be playing. Um, I think there's rumors that he could play a zombie. I guess it's called a Dark Seeker here. I'm not too sure. So they're saying here, like for the sequel, it'll take place decades after the events of the first movie, which makes sense. As I mentioned here, in the ending, that the sequel will follow. It says here Neville realizes the infected aren't there to kill him, but rather to save one of their own. I believe it's a zombie that he captured as a test subject. And then he understands that they see him as a monster just as he sees them. And they're really looking to The Last of Us as inspiration for the sequel. I mean, which is not like a bad idea to do for the sequel, but again, it's like, why rewrite the ending of the first movie just to have Will Smith back for the sequel? So yeah, I don't agree with that choice to have him back for the sequel, because obviously many people are going to watch the theatrical cut of the movie, which had him died. Because essentially, like, let's say an example, Heat, the Michael Mann movie with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. So with the movie, with that one, so this is spoiler alert if you have not seen the movie. So essentially, the ending for Heat, Al Pacino's character kills Robert De Niro's character as he's going to arrest him, which I believe happened. It's been a while since I've last seen that movie. And then there's a book, I believe, for Heat that came out, which I have. I have not read that book yet. So let's say for the sequel for Heat, because I know they're planning to do a sequel for that one. Let's say for the sequel, they change it where, oh, Robert De Niro's character didn't actually die. Like, oh, like he was just arrested instead of dying, which will be weird though, because that doesn't make sense, because a lot of people will be familiar with what happened with the first movie. Now, if let's say, because I Am Legend, you could say it is a post-apocalyptic movie, but it relies on realism as opposed to being fantasy. So if this was like a sci-fi fantasy movie, sure you could bend it a bit. So with Avatar 2, The Way of Water. So at the end of the first Avatar movie, the bad guy, I forgot what's his name, he dies by getting a bunch of arrows thrown at him by Neytiri. And then for the sequel, they bring his character back by having his memories from some USB stick. I don't remember, but essentially they implant his memories into a Navi body, and that's how they bring his character back. Which I believe it makes sense. It's ridiculous, but it makes sense, I guess, in that context. So having Will Smith back for the sequel does not make sense, and I disagree with that choice. So I want to know, what do you guys think about the sequel? Are you guys excited for this one? Do you agree with the filmmake with Will Smith's choice to bring his character back despite dying in the original ending of the movie? Let me know in the comments section. Also, too, you could view the link for my socials in the description. And I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.